after having an epic Mexico rally for 2018. A lot of drama happened. Mexico being the hot stage that it is, with higher elevation, demanding a lot from both the driver and the car. We saw many mechanical failures, punctures, just a lot of mishaps. So a lot of teams are talking about the estimate of about 20% less power due to this change in air pressure. Not only does that mean your speed may come down, but most importantly, when you are trying to come out of a turn, you try to get on the gas, that way the tires can start pulling you in a different direction. So the lack of power makes it harder for the car to pull you out of the turn. So they talked about bringing Sebastian Loeb back with Citroen, and to me I don't know who that is. Apparently he's a legend, you know, multiple champion, I believe it was 9. To put that in retrospective, Valentino Rossi has 9 championships, and he is the legend of MotoGP. So that lets me know this guy is the real deal. He's a 6-time Mexico winner. I can see why they may have brought him back just for Mexico. 3rd fastest for this stage, and that's impressive to me, to just come out the gate and be able to be competitive. It's going to be 22 stages, so that's a lot, but it's good to get off on the right foot. Elfyn Evans on stage 3 had a huge rollover, and he was lucky enough to come away from it. He came off a jump and the front end bottomed out, and when it finally, you know, uncompressed or rebound, there was just no steering input, and it sent him straight into the side of a mountain, where it kind of got cocked up and then just flipped over. Unfortunately though, his co-driver suffered a concussion, which made him ineligible to finish the rally. And the trouble begins for Neuville. Here on stage 6, he has reporting engine problems, which we later find out to be fuel pressure was lost. We already know it's difficult enough to stay with the pack, and let alone catch up. We are seeing a great battle front between Dani Sordo, also previous winner in 2013, I believe, and Chris Meek, winner from last year. They go on with this battle for quite some time. Sebastian Loeb overshoots a turn, and not a big mistake. I think maybe 10 seconds were lost, but it was just enough for Oitanik to slip into 3rd and drop Sebastian Loeb into 4th place. So at the end of stage 6, the running order is Dani Sordo leads Chris Meek at 12.3 seconds, and Oitanik and Sebastian Loeb are 19 seconds behind. Stage 7, Esa-Pekka Lappi, we don't get to see the crash, but we just see from helicopter view his car is turned over on the inside of a turn in a ditch full of trees, and his day's over. In stage 8, Sébastien Ogier and Andrés Mikkelsen are going at it for the 5th position, and unfortunately at the same time, JARI-MATTI, he's having engine problems, and come to find out it was a faulty alternator. And it's just Mexico, you know, being tough on the cars. By the end of the 10th stage, the top 5 are 30 seconds split apart, and the order is Dani Sordo, Sebastian Loeb, Oitanik, Sebastian Ogier, and Andrés Mikkelsen. I'm going for Loeb. He's been away for 3 years, no rally. The cameras are on him. He's holding out in 2nd place. You know, it's a combination of some luck that some guys are having mechanical failures, but you got to put yourself there. He's still ahead of Tanak, Meek, Ogier, Mikkelsen. So when day 3 starts, Thierry Neuville is the first one to go, and they go through the water splash, and his car stalls, losing another maybe 30, 35 seconds, something. Later that stage, Oitanik overshoots a turn, and when he spins it back around, there's a sudden drop in horsepower, and he claims to be saying that he only has 20 horsepower. I'm pretty sure he's exaggerating. Maybe he has 80, but in the end, that's nothing. Come to find out, turbo problems. This rally is pushing cars to its mechanical stress limit. And at the end of that stage, we find Sebastian Loeb, Dani Sordo, and Chris Meek to be the order. And we know the Citroens are strong on dry gravel. That's their event. It's no surprise to see 2 out of the top 3 are Citroen. Stage 12, they're just running close together. The top 4 together by 20 seconds. And JARI-MATTI finally brings himself back into the points after the alternator problem. Halfway through the day, the top 4, Sebastian Loeb, Dani Sordo, Chris Meek, and Ogier are tied. During the lunchtime, they talked to Sébastien Ogier, who said the only person he was concerned about was Chris Meek. Not because the other two guys weren't skilled enough, but they don't drive the full year. Dani Sordo and Sebastian Loeb are part-time drivers. So luck finally runs out for Sebastian Loeb after putting the car into a rock-filled ditch, causing a severe puncture where they had to stop and change the wheel. It cost him the standard 2 minutes, and you've seen him quickly drop from first to 6th or 5th. And early in the next day, they talked to him and found out that that was the wrong decision to make. They would have lost less time. They didn't specify how much less, but they would have lost less time by just driving the rest of the stage with the tire, with the puncture. While that happens, Chris Meek and Sebastian Ogier swap positions, and Ogier pulls a 3-second lead on Chris Meek. Saying on Saturday, every stage was won by Sebastian Ogier, just steadily, just going to do what he needs to do. He knows when to be fast, he knows when to accept that he's not. By the end of stage 14, Ogier leads Meek by 3.8, followed by Sordo, and the next person's behind by 1 minute 15 seconds. Ogier is really fighting for this one. It's much needed, especially after the terrible, terrible time he had in Sweden. This is definitely going to make the Rally Championship interesting to see how it goes into the next one. At the beginning of day 4, Ogier leads by 35.9, followed by Meek, then Sordo at 46.8 seconds behind the lead. Chris Meek never seems to fail on a slow left-hand U-turn, kind of like on cobblestone. He just loses it and flips the car halfway. The fans gotta come push him over. I'll definitely drop a link to make sure you get to see that. He is definitely the most interesting driver, and what I mean by that is his mistakes that he makes are very entertaining, but he's always in the mix. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Is he just getting lucky right now that cars are having mechanical problems? And honestly, the day was boring after that. Going into the power stage, Sebastian Ogier led by 48 seconds over Dani Sordo, followed by Meek at 1 minute and 15 seconds behind. We all know about the technique used by M Sport Ford and in Sweden, where they decided to go last. And here it is, Oitanek is looking to do the same. I find that the advantage he gained was very small due to the fact that it was gravel. And it's not the same like snow where you're clearing out snow just every track, you know. I don't think the advantage was that much, especially since he was already heading out. But I guess when you look for every advantage, it's gonna work. He beat Sebastian Ogier by 0.4. I think it's possible that he could have done that without, but we will never know because they did it and that's the outcome. But in the end, Sebastian Ogier lost an additional 10 seconds for hitting a barrier, which the officials told every team, do not hit that. If you touch that barrier, you will, you know, if it looks like it was deliberate, you will lose 10 seconds. So Oitanek did win the power stage, followed by JARI-MATTI, Thierry Neuville, Andreas Mikkelsen, and Sebastian Loeb. The overall finish, Sebastian won by 54 seconds, followed by Dani Sordo and Chris Meek. Andreas Mikkelsen and Sebastian Loeb wrap up the top 5. When they interviewed Sebastian Ogier after the race, one thing that did catch my attention was how he commended the increase of performance of the Ford Fiesta on gravel. Is that something that we saw change due to Ford performance backing, or is that something that M Sport got on their own? That just makes him more of a threat than he already is. So now going to the next race, the battle between Neuville and Sebastian Ogier has swapped, putting Ogier ahead by 4 points. Then there is a battle for third between 3 different drivers. Andreas Mikkelsen with 35 points and JARI-MATTI and Chris Meek tied with 32 each. And the battle after that is now between Toyota teammates Esa-Pekka Lappi and Oitanek. It's great to see these battles going on. I hope to see them continue on throughout the season. Nothing makes for a better racing than a close battle. Somebody that gives you that extra fire to push for the win or extra points or whatever you can get. So going into Corsica, France, I just want to bring up some key notes that happened from last year. Ogier was complaining about his setup. He has a hard time. I'm interested to see what Ford Performance can bring to the table to help him. I've already said that he has mentioned that the car has increased its performance on gravel, and now let's see what it's done on asphalt. Chris Meek was leading for majority of the stages until he blew a motor. I'm interested to see what Chris Meek can do, what Citroën can do as a team, and what Sebastian Loeb can do. I was really impressed with his performance in Mexico. I think what Citroën was trying to do by bringing him on is stack the points odd in their favor for the manufacturer's championship. I honestly believe that if he didn't get that puncture and have to change the wheel, that he would have beat Chris Meek. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened without the blown motor, because the following stages, Thierry Neuville won 4 of the 5. We don't know what would have happened if Chris Meek was there. The difference this year, I'm looking forward to seeing, would be that most of the course they will be using has been redone. And also last year, Neuville won this event, but even after he won, he was still 34 points behind Sebastian Ogier, followed by JARI-MATTI and then him. So now that he is only 4 behind, I'm interested to see what tactics he uses to make sure he doesn't throw it away, because he's in a good fighting position for the championship. He got off to a great start. He's not playing catch up. He's 4 points behind. The only person he needs to be worried about at this moment is Sebastian Ogier. It's going to be interesting to see this race, and I hope to be just as surprised as you guys are. It's in 20 days from now, and it will be in France, and it will be amazing. So until then, enjoy racing. Eat, breathe, race. Out.